Hey, Planeteers. We had a bit of a milestone this past week where Action Comics number 1000 premiered. And this is amazing. This is a little bit of history right here. This is the first consecutive, if you don't count the New 52, comic book that has reached this point. This is pretty exciting. And this features, geez, just about everybody. You name it, Dan Jurgens, Peter Tomasi, Louise Simonson, Paul Dini, Tom King, Scott Snyder, Brad Metzler, and of course Brian Michael Bendis, all doing some writing. And it doesn't have any kind of like, like any kind of story arc. It's an anthology featuring a whole bunch of Superman shorts, taking a look at the character, mostly in the modern era, although there is a Jeff Johns issue called The Car, which kind of takes place out of continuity. It takes place kind of in the original continuity of Action Comics #1, which hilariously is about the guy driving the car that he smashes on the cover of the first issue, which I think is kind of a fantastic idea. Not much comes of it, the story, but the fact that they paid attention to it, I think, amuses me to no end. The stories kind of range from okay to little tidbits about the character. One of my favorites is probably the Dan Jurgens story, where Superman has a few things he'd like to take care of that will save millions of people, but there's a big celebration of people who want to honor him, and Lois kind of finagled a way for it to happen, and it's a really sweet story. I gotta say, I really enjoyed the Pete Tomasi story, which had Superman kind of like narrate this little piece where Vandal Savage had trapped him and he's unstuck in time, kind of like finding his way through the decades, and he's kind of in a way reliving his comic book history with each decade in what was meant to be a trap. All the way so he can make it home for his birthday party with Lois and his son. This is kind of funny because this is pretty much the return of Bruce Wayne story arc that Grant Morrison took 8 years to do in 6 pages, and it's just as good. So points to Tomasi. And there is a Paul Dini story, which is okay. It's a Mitsoplex story. But this features some of my favorite artwork. It's from Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, who is, in case you don't know, was kind of the DC artist of the 70s. Matter of fact, a lot of stock imagery you see from DC characters, like on various merchandise, he drew, and they still use that stuff. He drew a lot of classic stuff during the 70s, and it's nice to see him featured in Action Comics 1, and holy crap, his art is gorgeous. And I'm going to say one more thing about the storyline. The last one features a story kind of disconnected from the rest. It is kind of like maybe a kind of a dip in continuous into prologue into what Brian Michael Bendis is going to be doing, where Superman is fighting this unstoppable alien. This guy who sort of looks like a little bit of Doomsday, a little bit of Two-Face, a little bit of every alien character ever. And he is whipping his butt in Supergirl's as well, and he's knocked out for a good portion of it. One of my favorite things, actually, is he is thrown through a coffee shop or something like that by the two women who work there, start dragging him and have this conversation about his red trunks. Oh, he's wearing those again. It's pretty typical funny Brian Michael Bendis dialogue. And it kind of continues. It's the only one that really doesn't have a stopping point. It kind of obviously will lend into, and a big ad, Bendis is coming! The Man of Steel storyline. So they're making a big deal, of course, out of his entry into the series. I gotta say, the stories are decent, and nothing major as far as any kind of home runs here. They're all nice stories. I gotta say, the biggest home run with this is the art. The art all over this place is gorgeous. Dan Jurgens' art is just beautiful. Let's see. Not to mention, there's some wonderful like the Tomasi story uses different artists for each page and takes full advantage of that. Oh, let's see. There is like the Brian Bendis story has Jim Lee working on it. There's Walt Simonson. I mentioned let's see, Lopez here, but we also see Jerry Ordway doing a Louis Simonson story. It's fantastic. The art alone is just absolutely gorgeous. I enjoyed every page of this. So definitely, yeah, this is kind of history. It's like $7.99. If this was a Marvel book, it'd be $10. So hey, this is a good deal. The 1,000th issue of Action Comics. It's definitely worth picking up. I think they probably have some alternate covers. I just got the basic one. I'm not a big like collect them all kind of cover guy. I've learned my lessons from the 90s. So I would recommend picking this up. Even just for the historical basis, you should probably pick it up. I'm going to give this a strong 4 Ram Chips out of 5. And what did you think? Did you have any particular favorites in the story? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe we'll talk about it. Or I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. We might be distant, but we might have a great conversation. Who knows? You can check me out on Twitter at The Real Manos. I also have a Facebook page, The Real Manos. You can also support the channel here at Patreon and get some cool rewards for yourself. Check them out. I think that's it. So until next time, push the button, Lindsay.
They don't play the song on the radio. They don't show that it's